What's going on, everybody? Critic and the Common Man here with a Jesus Christ, with a super intense movie this time. We are reviewing I Saw the Devil. This was a recommendation by the critic himself. Chris,
now,
you'd seen this before.
With that said, I haven't seen this movie in years.
Yeah.
It has been a long time. The last time I saw it, I was super stoned.
Chris's angsty, angry teenage self got us into watching this movie that now our somber adult versions could not handle.
I was 21, maybe.
Yeah. God, dude, that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, 40, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But yeah, no, I was like 21 when I saw this. I didn't remember a lot of it. I saw this at the same time as I saw Old Boy.
Yeah.
And so when I recommended this, I was like, yeah, it's kind of dark, but it's a revenge movie. It's really good. And then when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, should we even review this?
Jesus.
I had to give you a trigger warning. I was like, dude, this is really dark. Like,
this is really fucked up. It's a Korean film. So
Career film.
If you got Korean, wow. So if you guys haven't seen this, of course, this is your one and only spoiler warning, Critic and the Common Man. These are all full reviews with spoilers included. So, yeah. Oh my God, dude. I mean, you definitely did tell me. You warned me this is pretty dark, pretty graphic. And then you, even after we picked it for the podcast, you watched it before I did. Mm-hmm. And after you watched it again, you sent me another warning, a couple days ago. And you're like, hey, man, just so you know, this is really fucked up.
Yeah.
I just watched it again, and it's pretty dark.
Well, dude, I sent that text in the middle of the movie. I was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, you're like, just warning you.
Well, because I know that you watch a lot of the movies with your wife, and I was like, I don't know how she's going to handle this kind of stuff. Like,
oh, dude. I'm pretty glad. I decided to watch this one on my own, like pretty early in the morning. One morning before she was awake, I'm like, all right, let me just put this on and like I'll make breakfast and whatever. Dude, holy shit. I mean, I have conflicting emotions about this for sure, because on one hand, yeah, it's super dark and graphic, and it's like too much of the just darkness in this to me. But at the same time, the story is there, and the plot is pretty intriguing. It's not a bad movie in any way. It's well written. It's just, Jesus, there's a lot to take in.
It's just. I will say, it's so heavy.
It's very heavy. It's very heavy. I will say, normally I don't chicken out. I can normally, like when I see pretty graphic things on the screen, I'm not normally one to cover my eyes or look away or whatever. There were multiple times in this movie, either out of disgust or just cringing or whatever, I had to look away. Yeah. I have two moments in particular that I really had to look away from the screen from. Number one was when he was like cutting through that dude's Achilles tendon.
Oh my God, I know.
That started happening, and I was like, I was sitting there watching him like,
I couldn't watch it.
And then it started cutting, and I was like, started covering my eyes, and I don't normally chicken out, but dude, I couldn't watch it. I don't know if I was gonna be sick or what, but I could not watch it. And the other part was when the dude shits out the tracking thing and is like rummaging through his shit in the thing. I'm like, dude, this is fucking disgusting. Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember that part.
I
didn't remember that at all.
Oh God. He like gets laxatives right at the pharmacy, and then he just goes and shits out that tracking thing, which was a fucking stupid idea anyway, because I think people's food, when you eat something, it passes through their digestive tract within a matter of like a couple days or something. I mean, he couldn't have expected that tracker to last that long.
Yeah.
He just accelerated the process by getting laxatives, but Jesus Christ, man, that was like, I'm watching that, I'm going, oh my God. My wife had walked out at that point, because that's kind of towards the end of the movie, and I literally had to tell her, I was like, do not look at the screen right now, whatever you do. Like, you were going to be so mad. She was like eating breakfast, and I'm like, if you look at the screen right now, because of course your initial reaction is to turn your head immediately and look at what's going on. I'm like, if you look at the screen right now, you're going to be so mad that you did. Please don't look.
Did she?
Oh, no, she didn't. Fortunately, she almost did, but she didn't. Do you think this one is a little, did they go a little too over the top with the darkness and the gore and the...
I thought about that. You're seeing the thought process of a murderer and a rapist, and you're seeing little bits of like what turned him into this, and you start to get hints here and there throughout the movie that he probably got spurned or broken up with, or something that shattered his psyche. So I guess to answer your question, no. Like, is it heavy? Is it hard to watch? Absolutely. Is it a dark movie and a dark thing for a director to pick up on and to try and put on film? Absolutely. It is not a movie that everybody's going to be able to watch, but I think that it's not unrealistic.
I guess my question is, do you think that it detracts from the film? I'll say that. Do you think it makes the film worse to have it in there because it makes it too hard of a pill to swallow? Do you think it's a better movie if they censor it a little bit, or do you think it's a better movie with them showing his shit in the toilet and him like showing him cutting his Achilles tendon?
I will say that I think the movie goes on for about 20 minutes too long.
Agreed.
I think there's just about one... I think he caught him and let him go one too many times throughout the movie. By the way, spoilers, guys.
Hey, we've given him the spoiler warning.
Okay.
If you're in this now, it's on you.
I don't remember if we did. But yeah, I think that if there had just been one less scene of this guy, I think it would have been a little easier to watch. But because it's 2 hours, like a little over 2 hours of watching this guy get let go and then beat the shit out of this guy in terrible ways, and then he lets him go and we see him do more terrible things to more people. I mean, it is hard to watch, and I think that in some ways, I think that maybe not necessarily because of the topic, but because it's just it elevates our stress levels a little too much.
I just think it narrows the audience of this movie dramatically to make
people
it
who are
that
into the gore
graphic.
and stuff.
You got to be really into gore to like this. And because dude, there is a massive market for serial killer content and kind of these crime thrillers. Like, dude, how many TV shows are there about serial killers?
Yeah.
Criminal Minds. Of course, I'm going to sound like an idiot because I can only name one, but I know there's more than one.
Well, like,
Dexter.
Saw,
Dexter, and
all of those movies.
Saw movies.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of content out there about serial killers and murderers and stuff, and people really like that. Me included. I actually have watched... My wife and I think, have watched like 5 or 6 seasons of Criminal Minds, and then it got kind of stupid. The characters
but it's not gory.
It's not that gory. There's like just enough to where it's pretty impactful. But like, dude, I don't need to see the guy rummaging through his shit. I don't need to see the guy.
I agree with that. 100%.
I don't need to see that because it turns it into this like fetish movie where now the people that want to watch it are people that are like really into that sick shit.
Yeah.
And I liked the writing
that,
and
yeah.
to an extent. I liked the story to an extent. But the fact that it was so gory
no,
really
I know exactly
narrows
what
who's
you're
gonna.
saying.
Yeah, it's like it was too much.
You can tell the same story without showing a lot of the stuff. The main character definitely loses his way, and I think that's kind of the point, man, because he's this special agent who takes 2 weeks off to go find someone and murder them and get revenge. And
so let me ask you this: when they say "I saw the devil," who's supposed to be the devil? The serial killer or this guy? Because I get the vibe that he's become pretty fucking evil. Like this whole thing has just degraded him away to now where he doesn't really care about people. He's not really doing this to save the people that this guy may be killing or raping or whatever. He's doing this to torture this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't really
because
care
he wants
people.
that vengeance. He wants justice and he wants to feel satisfied in that this guy had as much pain as his wife did, or as much as he's feeling, really is what it is. Because you have to imagine that his wife probably wouldn't want this. You know?
Yeah, I've got to imagine that this is not what anybody would condone someone going and doing. Catching him the first time,
right.
Hell yeah. Fucking him up, hell yeah. Bringing him into the police station, or just kill him. Just fucking kill him. Okay, yes. But to let him go and then he like
it turns
keeps
into a
killing
game,
people.
and
Yeah.
And he just wants to prove that he's better. And I think that's the whole point of the movie, is that you take somebody, you put them through a tragedy, and you break them, and then you give them a chance at revenge, and that twists the person. Like, you have this guy that you like at the beginning, and then you're left with this hollow, empty shell. Like, he kills the guy, and when he's walking away and listening to him, when he finally dies, he just starts crying. He doesn't feel any better. Which, by the way, that actor is fucking phenomenal. He is so good at portraying that tragedy in him. But
he's really good.
But he gets nothing out of it. Even every time he kills him, he wants to kill him. You see him struggle with the fact that I could kill him right now, and then he lets him go. But he gets nothing out of it. And even when he finally does kill him, all he does is turn into a version of this guy. And I think that's what I was going to ask you. What do you think the title of the movie I Saw the Devil is alluding to?
I think it's kind of a play on words because I think he is supposed to. This guy, the serial killer, is the devil to him at first, and I think it's him becoming the devil, and so I think it's kind of this play on words where he would say, "I saw the devil," talking about the serial killer, and the serial killer would consider him the devil maybe at the end. So it's an interesting title for sure. I think the devil is supposed to allude to the serial killer guy, and then him basically fighting the devil and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I agree. I think I saw the devil would be like the words from our main character. Like the main character saying, I saw the devil and he took my wife away from me. And
right.
And then at the end of the movie, because of this man came into his life and took his wife, he himself is tainted by that evil, by that darkness, and it seeps into his life, takes over him, literally takes over him because all he wants is that vengeance. And then at the end, dude, the way he leaves the guy with the rope and the guillotine, that is something he would do to somebody else.
Yep, that is straight out of Saw. He became the very evil that he sought to defeat. The critics love this stuff, dude. I swear, any of these Korean films, like Rotten Tomatoes, just eats this up. They freaking loved it
because it's psychological. You know, you're delving into a part of the human psyche that we, especially on a Western level, do not like to talk about. We don't like to talk about murderers and rapists or whatever. We'd rather see them on the news and that's it. But we don't want to see them portrayed in a human way.
But you're right. There is something intriguing about it, and that's why shows like Criminal Minds that really try to take a deep look at like a psychopath's, psychology or a serial killer psychology. That's why I think they've done so well, is because there is something intriguing about it, and you almost hate that it is that way, but you are interested in it. This got an 81% critic score and an 87% audience score. Yeah. So whoever that target audience is for this, they clearly are enjoying it. Yeah. It did pretty well. How do your scores match up against that?
I'm right there, honestly. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not the best revenge movie I've ever seen. I've seen, other movies, Old Boy being one of them, but it is a dark movie that goes into some really dark themes. It is not a happy ending. The cinematography is pretty fucking phenomenal. There are some beautiful shots in this movie, especially the first opening shot where you've got like the windshield wipers and you're just seeing him go through the street in the snow and stuff. When the car pulls up and it's just this long shot of the car and the snow and the street lamp and stuff, it's beautiful. The craziest shot in this movie that I think to this day blows my mind is that scene in the taxi. Dude, the camera's going around the taxi inside of it, getting all the different shots, literally going 360 inside.
Yeah,
no idea how they did that. I have zero idea
how they did that either.
But leave it to movies like this, experimental movies like this to come up with some crazy shots. Overall, the cinematography is there. You root for your character, and then you're not sure who the hero is anymore. And I think that's kind of the point. Is again, I saw the devil doesn't usually mean a good thing. It's what happens when you have someone taken from you. That's the theme of the movie. Is what are you willing to do to get the revenge, and how much is that going to change you? So overall, I'm right there with it. There are some scenes that I feel should not have been in the movie. They just weren't necessary. It would have been good to see the gore and all that stuff just toned down a little bit to kind of accentuate the story and the writing and that, rather than make it a gore film, which it basically was a gore movie. But overall, I think it was a decent movie. I thought it was pretty good. I'm right there with it at an 8. It's going into this knowing what you're going to watch, which is a heavy movie, revenge movie about a rapist and murderer. I give it an 8. It's a good movie. It's just hard to watch.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm trying to be very objective here, and just for what it is. It's a serial killer horror gore movie, and it's a foreign film. The acting, incredible. The story, definitely there. It's creative. Do I like the main character? No, but I don't think that you necessarily have to.
But did you like him in the beginning?
Right, yes. And I understood what he was doing, and I still can totally understand the writing being what it was. I'm with that. But I think the gore turns this movie, like I said, into like a fetish movie where you have to be like
agree.
super into the gore stuff, and I think it didn't need to do that. I think it detracted from a really well written,
even some of the
cast.
And not to interrupt, but even some of like the scenes where he's raping these women were a little too. They were showing a little too much.
Yeah, it felt a little too real. It was
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, man! Like you almost wonder if this movie's like even legal.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like
exactly. And I
you
I
like
agree.
see the original, like his wife, you know, who was taken. You see her body, and he's like carved her stomach out after she. And it's like, dude, this is fucked.
It's
like this whole
fucked
thing
up,
is
dude.
fucked.
This movie is fucked up.
So
yeah.
it's like. It is, and I think it's a little too much on that sense.
agree.
Or you know what? Fine, but that's a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it detracts a little bit from the rest of the movie. If you're gonna make a gore movie like that and kind of narrow yourself into that genre, okay, that's that was your choice. Now let's see how we respond.
It's
to
along
it
the
if
same
people
lines
do
as like
choose-
Saw. Like a lot of people thought that was too much too. So it's kind of it's whether or not you're
right.
into that type of thing. This
You're
is different
absolutely right.
because with Saw, it's you're killing people, but with this, it's like you're raping people and then you're carving them up, and we're seeing it all, and it's just.
Yeah, it's like we're seeing too much.
It's a shock.
It made me cringe, man. Like I had to look away a lot, sometimes out of disgust, sometimes out of just cringeworthiness. But the writing is there, the acting is absolutely there. The plot is creative, and this is another good piece of serial killer, psychopath content. I just think it's a little too far over the top personally. Would I ever watch this again? I don't think so. It's too fucking heavy,
Yeah.
but I get it. I get it for what it's supposed to be going for. I give this one a 7. I think without the over-the-top gore, it probably would have been an 8 or an 8.5 for me because of the acting. I started to hate the main character, and I started to think, like you said, it was getting a little bit redundant, where it's like, okay, like, stop letting him go.
Yeah.
Like, just catch the guy and fucking kill him. Just shoot him. Forget the torture. Just put him out of his misery. Like, you're just putting other people at risk now, and I started to kind of hate what was happening.
If you had just toned it down a
so-
little bit and then cut it by 20 minutes, I feel like it would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Agreed. It gets a 7 for me, and I'm pretty happy with that score. I don't think I'll ever watch this one again. It was a little too much for me, but I would recommend it to people if they knew damn well what they were getting into, which we did. You definitely made me aware of what we were getting into, and it was heavy. So that's it, man. A 7 and an 8 for the critic and the comment man on this. If you guys watch this, then you know how heavy this movie is. Leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down below. Fair is fair. If you guys liked this review or hated this review, leave a comment too and let us know what you thought of this movie. Was it too heavy? Was it? Did you like that it was so gory? Was it a good change of pace for you? What do you guys think about this one? Let us know what you think. This is kind of a niche movie. I'm not expecting a ton of views on this.
Yeah, and also
I'd
the
imagine
guy,
not a ton of people.
the main bad guy, he plays Odaisu and Odaisuo in Old Boy. So
He's the main character.
yeah,
in
so
that.
if we can ever get our hands on Old Boy and ever watch that, you'll
Right.
recognize him, dude. He's a phenomenal actor. But yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He was completely convincing in this. But that's it. Our review of the very intense I Saw the Devil. If you guys have seen the movie, which I'm sure you have if you're taking the time to watch this review, please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. We do the shameless plug every time. Jump on over to our Instagram if this is your first time seeing Critic and the Common Man. We really love doing this podcast. As you can see, we don't have a lot of subscribers or anything, but we really enjoy it. Leave a like, a thumbs up, or a thumbs down down below. Fair is fair. And if you like what we have to say, go check out our channel. We do tons of movie, TV, content reviews. Give us a subscribe. We really like to see some growth here as well. So that's it. Jump over to the Instagram, Critic and the Common Man. Chris, you got anything else for I See the Devil?
I just want to say, Jimmy, I know you're watching this. I've told you before.
Jimmy's
Fuck
the
you.
guy. Jimmy is the kind of guy who would watch something like I Saw the Devil. He's into that like fetish gore
Fucking
stuff.
Jimmy.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
That's all I got.
It's like we really want to see the growth and we love having a lot of these viewers, but Jimmy sticks around, all right? He's kind of the kid that we don't necessarily want to be watching these videos, but he is.
Yeah.
But he is. I don't even think he's subscribed. He's just kind of like a weird
he just
stalker,
hovers
you know what I mean?
around our feed.
Fuck you, Jimmy.
Fuck you.
All right, that's it. We're out of here. Critic and the Common Man, our review of I Saw the Devil.
Who is
Go
Jimmy?
follow us on Instagram. We really appreciate the views. We appreciate the love. Let us know if you love it or hate it down below. Chris, cue our spooky exit music.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
That is not spooky.